Hi, this is Mrs. Broad again, and we're going to work on solving equations with variables on both sides again today. But first, we're going to go ahead and work the bell work, which involves some translating and some solving multi-step equations. Go ahead and pause this video and try these on your own. If you get stuck, I will walk you through each of these. These are a little more challenging today for the bell work, but I want you to give them a try on your own first. So when you're ready, unpause the video and see how you did. All right, so the first thing it tells us is the length of the rectangle is 3 centimeters less than 4 times the width. So if you remember, less means subtract, than means that's a turnaround word, and the 3 has to go back behind that, and times means to multiply. So whenever you have a picture, go ahead and write on the picture. So we're going to start with the 4 times the width, 4W. I'm going to use W for width. 3 less than that would be minus 3. So remember that we also have a second width, or length, which would be the exact same. And nowhere in the problem does it tell us what the width is, so we just know that the width is represented by W. So the second part of the problem says the perimeter is 54 centimeters. Well, if you remember, perimeter means you're going to add all these outsides together, and that it should equal 54. So when we want to write our equation, there's a couple ways to do this. We could do this the longer way and just add up all the sides. 4W minus 3 plus W for another side, plus the other length of 4W minus 3 plus W the other side, and that would all equal to 54. Another way to write this, if we remember that perimeter of a rectangle, there's 2 lengths exactly the same and 2 widths exactly the same. We could make this equation look a little different, and we could do 2 parentheses 4W minus 3. That just means we're multiplying the length twice. And then 2 times the W's, because there's 2 widths. And that would equal to 54. Either way, you should still get the same answer, just one you have to combine like terms and one you have to distribute. So I'm going to go ahead and use this second one. Now I'm going to distribute. And I get 8W minus 6 plus 2W equals 54. And you can see that we still have a couple W's that we need to combine to get 10W minus 6 equals 54. And then we can solve this like a 2-step equation where I'm going to add 6 to both sides. I'm going to bring this over to the side because I ran out of room. So I get 10W equals 54 plus 6, which is 60. And if I divide each side by 10, I get my width equals 6. But that is not what the question asks for. The question asks for the length. But once I know the width, I can look back over here at my length and just plug that width back in. So 4 times 6, the width, minus 3 is 24 minus 3, so the length is 21. You always want to use your units, centimeters. Another way to check to make sure this is right, remember all the lengths and widths should add up. So we know that each one of these lengths is 21. So that's a total of 42. We know each one of these widths is 6 for a total of 12 more. 12 plus 42 gives us that 54 for the perimeter. So always check for reasonableness. Okay, you can pause again if you want to work the second one. In a triangle, the longest side is 4 inches longer than twice the shortest side. The third side is 3 inches less than twice the shortest side. If the perimeter of the triangle is 46 inches, find the length of the longest side. Okay, so we've got the longest side is 4 inches longer, so we're going to have to add than, that's a turnaround word, twice, that means multiply by 2, the shortest side. So we'll use S for shortest side. So I'm just going to pick this one, twice the shortest side plus 4, that is my longest side. The third side is 3 inches less, that means subtract, than twice the shortest side. So again, twice the shortest, minus 3. And then that leaves us with just the shortest side. Again, we want the perimeter, which we said was just adding up all of these sides. And we can say 2s plus 4, that's one side, 2s minus 3, and then just s, and all of that has to equal that perimeter of 46. So we would be combining like terms, 2s plus s is 5s. 4 minus 3 is plus 1 equals 46. Now we're down to our two-step equation. We want s by itself. We're going to subtract 1. We are left with 5s equals 45. We're going to divide each side by 5. And we get s equals 9 inches. But that's not what we want. We want the longest side, which, if you remember, was this one, 2s plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my 9 for s. Into that, I get 18 plus 4. My longest side is 22 inches. And remember, you can always check this. So the longest side was 22, the shortest side was 9. If I plug in 9 for the third side, I get 18 minus 3 is 15. So if I add up all of those, I do get 46. Okay, so number 1 is a lot like the last note set that we did. So I'm going to have you pause the video, see if you can work through these steps. Remember that you want to distribute or combine like terms first. Then once you simplify, you want to move all the variables to one side and all of the numbers to the other side and then solve. So go ahead and push pause. Try to work this out on your own. When you're finished, push play and check your answer. All right, so did you get v equals -5? So the first thing I did was distribute that 3 to everything in the parentheses behind it. Then you can see in the first step, I had to combine my 3v minus 4v, and I got -v. You don't have to write the -1v. It's okay if you did, but we want to get used to not writing that. Then I moved the -v to the other side by adding. And then I solved it like a two-step equation. And of course, you could take those steps, plug them back in, and see if you get the right answer. All right, so now we have something just a little bit different than what we did in the previous lesson. So we're going to go ahead and work number 2 exactly the same, which means simplifying first. So we're going to distribute and bring down that -4. We're going to distribute on the other side. And then you can see that we still have some numbers over here that are not combined on the left side, so I'm going to go ahead and combine those. We get 2g minus 8 on the left and 2g minus 6 on the right. So now we can start moving our variables. Remember, we said we usually move the smaller of the two just to make it a little easier, but if you notice, these are both 2g, so it really doesn't matter which way I move them. I'm just going to choose to subtract on this side. And what you should see happens is your variables canceled out, and you are left with negative 8 equals negative 6. So what we should see, that is not true. That is a false statement. Negative 8 will never equal negative 6. So this means that there's not really an answer to this question. So the way we would answer this is we would put no solution. What that means is no matter what number I plug in for g in this problem, each side of the equation will never equal each other. And that's the point of an equation, is for them to equal. So you can't just tell me false. The answer is not 0. There is no solution to this. If you want to write it in a short form, that would be like a circle with a line through it. Those two things mean the same thing. This doesn't happen a lot, but every once in a while your variables will cancel out and you'll get a false answer. So you have to tell me no solution or the circle with the line through it. So that is a special case equation right there. So let's go ahead and look at number 3. We're going to do the same thing, which is to simplify. We get 3m plus 15 minus 6 equals 3m plus 9. So you can see we still need to combine right there. And we get 3m plus 9 equals 3m plus 9. So you should see that both sides right now are equal to each other. But just so we can see what happens, I'm going to subtract 3m from each side. And you can see that the same thing happened in number 2. The variables canceled out. But this time we are left with 9 equals 9, which is a true statement. So when you get a true statement, what that means is any number that I picked, it could be -5, it could be 1,000,000. Any number that I picked to plug in for m is going to make this equation true. This is called all real numbers. So you don't want to just tell me true. This is all real numbers. That means any real number that I plug in is going to work. So the symbol for this is double line R, all real numbers. So you could show me either of those things as your answer in this case where the variables cancel out and you get a true statement. Again, it's not going to happen all the time. You may get 1 or 2 of these throughout your problems, but every answer is not going to be an all real number. All right, so we have one more problem, and it says write an equation for the following situation. So this is where if you have a highlighter or something you like to mark things, that would be a good time to do it. There are 2 long-distance phone companies competing for Derek's business. The first phone company charges a flat rate of $5.50 per month and then 3 cents per minute, while the other company charges 5 cents per minute, no flat rate. How many minutes would Derek have to use in order for the two phone companies to cost the same? That means to be equal. So what we are comparing is the first company to the second company. We want them to be equal. So to write our equation, we have to figure out the first company. So when they tell you a flat rate, that means one time. We're only looking for a month at a time. So he's going to pay for that month a one-time fee of $5.50. That is even if he talks 0 minutes, he will still have to pay that $5.50 with company, the first company. But then after that, it's only going to cost him 3 cents, is 0.03 cents per minute. So when you see that per right there, that is usually going to tell us that that's where our variable goes. They're going to be multiplied. Okay, so that's the first company. You have to pay that $5.50, but then it's only 3 cents per minute. The second company doesn't have a flat rate, but you have to pay the 5 cents per minute. So it says, when are they equal? Well, you can see that the first company is not as expensive per minute, but you have to pay that flat rate. The second company is more expensive, but no flat rate. So eventually they will equal out. We want to figure out how many minutes Derek would have to use in order for the two phone companies to cost the same, because he wants to see if it's worth his while to pick company A or company B, the first company or the second company. So we're going to solve this. This is a variables on both sides. I've got an M on the left and an M on the right. So I only have one number on the left. So that means I need to move that variable to the right. And I'm going to do that by subtracting 0.03 M. And that's going to leave me with $5.50 on the left equals 0.02 M on the right. And then I divide each side by 0.02. And I get 275 equals M. But we need to know what that means. What does 275 mean? So we have to go back and read the problem. How many minutes would Derek have to use in order for the two phone companies to cost the same? We're going to write that in a sentence. Derek would have to use 275 minutes for them to be equal. You can, of course, word that however you want in a complete sentence, but as long as it's telling us what it means. So Derek would have to use 275 minutes for the companies to be equal. And that is our answer. So if he plans to talk more than that, then I would go with company, the second company. Or sorry, the first company, because you would get cheaper minutes after that.